Mrs. Festa's Math Lesson Summary for Lesson 2.3, 2.4, and 2.5, Equivalent Ratios. You're going to need to find this page in your packet for the Equivalent Ratio Summary. We'll start with the fill in the blanks section. Equivalent ratios are ratios where each part of the original ratio is multiplied by the same number to get the new ratio. Cookie recipe. Fill in the blanks so that each cookie batch will taste the same as the original. If the original recipe is 3 cups of flour to 2 cups of butter, and we want to change it to 12 cups of flour, then we need to look for the scale factor. 3 times 4 makes it 12, so we do the same thing to the other piece of the ratio. 2 times 4 makes the 8 cups of butter. On the other hand, if we're going from 2 cups of butter to 1 cup of butter, this time we're multiplying by 1/2. So we're doing the same thing to 3 cups of flour. When we do this, we get 1.5 or 1 1/2 cups of flour. So the example, a paint recipe calls for 5 milliliters of blue paint with 2 milliliters of white paint. Jack mixes 20 milliliters of blue paint with 8 milliliters of white paint, where Jill mixes 10 milliliters of blue paint with 7 milliliters of white paint. Which person will get a color mixture that is the same as the original? So in this case, we're going to look for which ratio matches the original ratio using multiplication. Jack's paint will be the same color because he multiplied both the blue and the white by 4, where Jill added 5 cups to each. This would not keep the same equivalent ratio. Example 2. Create 4 different ratios that are equivalent to the ratio 6 to 8 to 10. At least one of your ratios should include smaller numbers. So with this one, you can multiply the 6 and the 8 and the 10 by any number of your choice, as long as all 3 numbers are multiplied by the same number that you choose. For the first example here, 6 times an 8 and 10 were all multiplied by 2, the next by 3, the next by 5, and the last one they were multiplied by 1/2. All of these are equivalent ratios. There are many more, but those are a few of the examples. Some things to remember. Recipes where the ingredients are in equivalent ratios will taste the same. If they're not equivalent ratios, your recipe won't turn out. Paint colors where the colors are in equivalent ratios will look the same. To create equivalent ratios, make sure to multiply each number in the ratio by the same number. Don't add or subtract. You can multiply by a fraction to create a smaller equivalent ratio, or just divide.